Welcome to this episode of Life is a Dance. My name's Taras and and my beautiful wife to my left here, Wendy.
Hello.
And if you live in the Hampton Roads or Virginia Beach area and you're interested in learning how to do social dancing, anything from ballroom to Latin to country western, salsa, bachata, merengue, anything that encompasses partner dancing, visit us at www.cutarug.net or come by the studio located right here in the heart of Virginia Beach, Virginia. So, what's going on, Wendy?
Well, it's Saturday. And we are getting ready for your surgery.
We sure are.
Yeah, so that's happening on Tuesday.
Yep. We were just getting some coffee. Black Rifle coffee. One of my new favorite coffees. And as we were on our way there, we were testing out how I'm going to get in and out of the car post-surgery. But what did you order at Black Rifle and what's good?
I am, for all my matcha lovers out there, they have delicious matcha. I usually make mine at home. I order from a company called Tenzo, and they have really good tea. And, you know, that's something interesting to talk about. Like, how did people buy things in the past before social media? Because so many things that are purchased now are from people seeing it on Instagram.
Yeah.
TikTok, I'm not a TikTok person for obvious reasons, or maybe not obvious reasons. But Instagram, like found Tenzo tea. So it's a really fascinating. What have you recently purchased from Instagram?
Oh, man, you're throwing me under the bus. If you look at previous videos, my beard doesn't look as dark in previous videos because I came across simpler hair color.
Really? On Instagram?
It was actually Facebook.
Oh, I thought it was maybe a cousin, Todd Combs, giving you some input as to what he used. So you found that on social media as well.
Yeah, he uses the men. What is the brand? Something just for men, and it smells really bad. And he said that it's really harsh. So I decided when I saw the advertisement on Facebook of Simpler that you just brush it in and it's pretty much just like a coloring. It doesn't smell like anything, although it might, but maybe my smell's not working. But yeah.
That's interesting. Just for men. Does that mean that there's particular hair colors that would only work on men and not on women?
It's totally marketing and branding. I'm pretty sure. Like dude wipes. If you're a fan of dude wipes, like it's like baby wipes, but for adults.
Well, it's also supposed to be biodegradable and the way it's made, good for, septic systems and all plant-based. But if you can't find your way to a bidet, you can buy yourself some dude wipes. But speaking of marketing, like it's like marketing to dudes, like. Yeah, but let's talk about that because we just got messages from cousin that they have a pumpkin spice. Like, what's that all about?
Pumpkin spice.
A pumpkin spice wet one.
Wow.
For the bathroom. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't. Well, I guess if you are a fan of dude wipes or if you're a fan of the pumpkin spice, comment below and let us know what that's all about.
Here at Life is a Dance, we're talking more than just about dancing. We're talking about personal hygiene. Mm-hmm. But if you're on the go and you're at a dance competition or wherever and they're more than just wiping your butt, I'm sure, or wiping your privates down there.
It's good to have wipes, but continuing on that conversation about Instagram, how many of you out there get so overwhelmed because sometimes you're on Instagram or Facebook and an ad comes and you're just like, wait a second, how on earth is this ad playing for me? Because maybe you had a discussion, like maybe we were talking about something and then all of a sudden we know our phones are listening to us. So that's really creepy. Mm-hmm. But there's so many similar products out there. And it can be really overwhelming. Like you see an ad and it's like, okay, this is great. And it's the best thing out there. And then all of a sudden another ad comes for the same exact product. And like, I'm one of those, well, to viewers, this is new to you, but this is not new to Taras. But I am one of those people that when it comes to buying something, I need to research it and it has to be the best. Just quality, everything. So it can be really overwhelming.
Is there a specific item that you're referring to?
Well, this could tap into a whole discussion about the constant pursuit of youth, which could tie into dancing and how dancing can help with that. But there is this product, I can't remember the company's name, but it's colostrum, and it's supposed to be this amazing new product that people are using, and that it's better than collagen. It's great for your hair, your skin, for gut health. And apparently it's the milk that a cow, I think, releases before birth, giving birth, or after, which just in that sense, I was like, I don't know. I don't know about this, but I keep hearing about it. So I have actually been researching it and reaching out to people. And so far, everyone's saying it's amazing. So I just might take the plunge. And so might you, because we'll do it together. But if you've heard of colostrum or you're using it, comment below, because I want to know.
Wendy has a tendency to try stuff and experiment on me. But I don't have the discipline to follow through with like you mentioned, the search for eternal youth, or until I came across Simpler.
Let's talk about your beard.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. We'll share about that. So, Taras, when he first did his beard, he came down the stairs and he was all proud and like putting his chin back, and you definitely felt better.
Oh, 100%. I've totally felt totally different. I was like, even when I walked in the studio, I'm like, look how young I look. Don't I look so great and so young? The staff is totally laughing. They probably didn't see it. They didn't even notice, actually, when I had came in and just had colored it. I think they were just, they don't. It's funny. I guess people don't see what we see.
They're like, do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, well, let's talk about, let's hear about that. So you've got the color on your beard. It's dark. It comes, you're washing it off, and tell us like how you felt when you saw yourself in the mirror.
I felt young. But you said, because it was longer, I had to trim it up a little bit, but you said that I looked
yeah, you looked, it was too dark.
I looked like a Taliban.
You looked the color was a bit dark.
Yeah, it was pretty severe.
A bit too dark,
yeah.
But you figured it out. Looks like you got the right.
No, it just needs a couple of days to wash out a little bit and soften, but it's supposed to be this black brown. But it always comes in. I don't know how, quite honestly, I don't know how to take care of myself when it comes to grooming stuff. I just never really did it. Once in a while, I'll put on some face cream and that's about it. But I do get the whole thing about the getting your hair colored or the beard colored, or I'm convinced.
I think it's so much easier for guys. Like for guys, when guys start to gray, he looks sexy. And then for women, it takes a really strong, I've started getting some grays, and I
never see that.
No. And I do not color my hair. I have friends that they're like every 4 weeks. I'm like maybe once a quarter. And I hate going, and I'm just like, I don't have enough to go all in yet, but it does, you do feel better. You feel better when, so maybe now as a guy, like now you understand kind of why women are coloring their hair, because they feel better. They feel more youthful. And, for some reason, society is kinder to men than women when it comes to aging. I mean, this could be a part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 discussion on that.
Is that a fact? Do you really think that society is better on women, or is it marketing has done that? Because I don't think it's a societal thing.
100%.
It's society?
Yeah, well, no, I was saying 100% that I think it is easier. I don't want to say easier. It is more, I think a guy can let gray come in, and it does. I agree. I think it looks good. I think it looks sexy. And I think it is not the same for women. Guys can have wrinkles, and women are seen as, this is a loaded topic.
Yeah, but I think, and I may be naive, but it's more about media and marketing and advertising, and those are the expectations that
yes.
What, like,
I mean, yes, of course, but I think it actually leaves an impact. I think as women, there's more pressure, more having to explain. Women are not going to talk about, like, how far do we go with this conversation? I say we should table this, but let's talk about it in respect to how dancing can help us in respect to feeling more youthful.
Well, when you had started this, I immediately had the thought in my head. It was like, dancing makes somebody feel young on the inside. Because you're embracing a feeling of movement, and the endorphins are kicking in, and you're just moving. Whereas on the outside, that's when we get into simpler hair color, because that's what makes us feel younger, hiding those grays. But yeah, dancing is for sure. It makes people, at least it makes me feel younger.
For sure.
Makes me feel like rejuvenated.
Comment below if you would like Taras and I to continue this conversation about aging in respect to men and women, because it's a big topic. But I think dancing is, let's be honest, in the world, people want to feel youthful. They want to feel healthy. They want, when people look at them, to, when people get older, and I think we see this all the time when in the studio. We have a few students that are in their 70s and higher. And I often wonder, like, does someone that's 70 or 80 really feel different than they do when they're like 50, 40, 30? I think that person is still there. And I wonder if they just kind of look in the mirror and like, what the
100%. 100%.
What the heck?
I feel that way all the time. I look in the mirror. I'm like, wow, I still remember, I identify as a 25-year-old or 23-year-old. And I look in the mirror and I see not that guy.
Yeah.
So I suppose that's what, like, but what I was originally saying is it's like about marketing. It's like people have that sense of feeling about themselves. And why did I color my beard? I was like, I would never do it. And I'm like, that's dumb. And then I did it. And I'm like, oh, I get it. Because I get closer to that even Antoine and I were talking earlier about, he's like, dude, you're like straight up an 80s kid. I'm like, yep, I'm all 80s, everything 80s. Because that was like the impressionable years of our lives. So I still connect with that music and all the cartoons and movies and the reboots like Ghostbusters coming out. And it might look terrible, but it brings us back to that childhood time. And I think that's what everyone's chasing.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of things in the world, in society that, I can't really speak on behalf of men in respect to not being a man. But I think as women, I love like the fact that dancing is a timeless art in respect to ballroom. Being someone that was classically trained, you do time out. Oh, and yeah. I think in a lot of aspects in the world and things, there are reminders of like what your age is. Like for women, you're a certain age, you can only have children to a certain age, or going through the big life change, and people kind of think, oh, she's old. Whereas when you get into a dance studio, well, let's do the contrast of a gym. If you go into a gym, it's like you might not be as strong as you used to be. You may not be as flexible. Whereas ballroom adapts to wherever you are in what aspect of life, whether you're a child learning to dance or whether you're 80 years old. And I think that's really powerful to be able to be part of an art form where it is timeless, and you aren't, it's not discriminatory in respect to what your age is, if you're flexible. It's really accepting of all. And I think that is amazing when you look at, and we can use our studio. We had studios in New York, but we could come up with so many stories of students in respect to just seeing that they are recapturing that childhood wonder in them. Totally.
Yeah.
And I think that's so powerful to be able to come into a space where, and I love, this might be, a dangerous topic, but I love that in a studio, there's no politics or, social craziness that's going on, or whatever your age is, wherever you are in your life. It's just about dancing. And everyone is like harmoniously participating in it together. And it's really a beautiful thing.
Yeah, dancing can really level the playing field for people. And again, we can only speak for our own studio and studios we've been around, but what's pretty amazing is that the age that people are at doesn't really matter. So like everyone dances with each other. So that is really cool. It does level the playing field a bit. Yeah.
And I think what's really fascinating too is that we have students of all ages, but that let's use our staff. We have staff that are, pretty young in their 20s, and yet they may have students that are old enough to be their parents, but they look up to our staff.
Yeah.
And they see them as examples, or even ourselves. I mean, we have some students that have been with us for 14 years. And I mean, they were here before we even had this studio. And I feel like they are more youthful and happier now, 14 years later, than they were before.
For sure.
I mean, granted, they're retired, but I mean, just, Anne, she's working out, and she's, in incredible shape, and she's got herself costumes, and she's always wearing fitness wear. And she and Kevin are just, I feel like they are so youthful, and students that I think, whether we have young students, middle, older, all look up to them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. Like they definitely are embracing the hobby of dancing. And after their retirement, that was a big goal of theirs. They're like, we want to continue our dancing. And we want to do these events and competitions, and now they can. So it's pretty cool.
It is. I mean, they're not only learning, what's so cool about dancing is that it's not just this beautiful art form. It's great exercise. It's great for mental health, stress reliever, but it is a lifestyle. And I think people are more inclined to be more conscientious about how they're living their life, how they're eating, how they look, because in the studio there are mirrors, which can often not be our friend. But I feel like in the studio, it really isn't. I think that's so cool that not only are people in the studio dancing, but outside of the studio, I think they're thinking about it, and it's impacting how they want to live their life and being healthier so they can do it even longer and do it better.
Yeah. That's why we go to Jordan Young Institute and get our hips replaced so we can continue our dancing.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah. It was funny. Antoine and I were just on, and if you're new to our channel, you can go visit the Alpha Geek podcast, where Antoine and I talk about all sorts of dumb stuff that guys really like. But we're both going to get surgery. Both have surgeries coming up this week. And as a result of career choices and just genetics, I guess. But yeah, so it makes us feel young, and that's why we want to get these surgeries and get ourselves taken care of so we can keep feeling young.
That's kind of like, this is kind of a new friendship. I mean, we've known Antoine for, about a year now, not quite, but it's kind of unique. I don't know if the word interesting. I mean, that you guys are having surgery basically
at the same time.
At the same time. Well, him on Monday, you on Tuesday.
Yeah, crazy. Each surgery too is scary. Like we were talking about, like when we were younger, he's had more surgeries than I have. So he was like, I was younger, I didn't really care. And I asked him if he's feeling like anxious about this one. He's like, yep. He's like, I don't know if it's because I'm older or whatever, but it's like, but he's getting some stuff done on his neck. So which is totally freaky. Whereas I'm just getting my right hip replaced.
No big deal.
Big deal. But in the grand scheme of things, like it could be worse. But still, it still sucks.
It's still surgery, and it's still scary.
Yeah.
Just that. I mean, your hip replacement in 2019 was your first surgery of any kind. So that's kind of crazy to have to, but what a crazy feeling it is to be, rolling into an operating room and all of a sudden it's like you wake up and it's all over.
Yeah. So crazy.
That is just so bizarre to think about. Maybe we shouldn't talk about it with you, but just the idea of just not knowing what happened. Like, I mean, what happened because you come out and you've had your hip replaced, but just that you are there. Talk about feeling vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I've had surgeries myself, and it's always just such a crazy, crazy feeling. Crazy.
I didn't realize that I'd be completely exposed, but I don't know what I was thinking why that wouldn't have happened, but yeah.
Do you think it's, let me know, any of you viewers, if you think it's weird that I videotaped Taras when he was, when I walked into the recovery room when he was still on some good drugs.
Yeah. So they said that they're going to release me the same day. Do I get to go to recovery room, or is it like right off the operating table and out you go?
No, I'm sure. I mean, so you had your surgery really, really early. So I was just like pacing the hospital because we've been in Virginia Beach for 14 years now.
Jeez, wow.
And it's just the two of us. So we don't really have family here. So I was kind of by myself, just kind of pacing. And then finally got that phone call and they're like, Dr. Dowd's on the line. And you said that you were great, that you did great. You were in recovery and that I could see you in 2 hours. So I proceeded to get in my car and I was like, oh, maybe I'll go get him oh, that's right. I forgot about that. I went and got you one of your favorite bagel sandwiches and a coffee. And I also went to Michael's and decided to just go. I just bought all sorts of Christmas stuff because I wanted him to, when he came to see nothing but Christmas, because prior to the surgery, we forgot to get our Christmas decorations from the attic. So that was kind of crazy. I needed something to kind of distract me. And then there you were.
There I was.
There you were. And then they had you, I get there and then they're like, we're going to get you on your feet.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
We were talking with our staff member, Megan, last night. Her husband has been through several surgeries and several traumatic things, and talking about on a spouse, what that does, and knowing now, like, I'm out. I don't know anything that's going on. But Wendy, she was not on anesthesia, so she was. I don't know were you nervous? Were you? I don't know. What was that process like? What was?
You mean when you went into surgery?
Yeah, just. Were you freaked out?
I when it comes to caring about someone, loving someone, like you just do what you have to do. Like I think I've had experiences like with when my mom was battling cancer, and there were lots of times of seeing things and going through things that were so hard. But you just do what you need to do. And yeah, it was hard watching them roll you away because I knew the night before that you were pretty terrified of what was happening, and understandably so. But yeah,
Night before, morning of, going into the hospital, I was terrified.
Yeah. But I just remember I literally, the whole time you were in surgery, I was pacing. I mean, there was people in the waiting room, but I could not just sit there. I was just like roaming
Where was
around.
the waiting room? Was it where we came in, or were you out in like the main lobby area, or was it a separate part of the hospital?
No, there was a place they told us we had to go. I had to go.
Oh, okay.
And there was people, and I just kind of like tried to sit there and just started walking. And
could you leave?
isn't that crazy? Like, it wasn't that long ago, but I don't I didn't leave because I wanted to be in the hospital no matter what. But then when they said that you were doing fine and in recovery and I couldn't see you for 2 hours, then I thought,
oh, that's when you left. Okay.
That's when I left. Yeah, I didn't leave when you were in your surgery. I waited to hear from the doctor. But I honestly cried a little bit. But then, and then when I was able to see you, and then they were like, he'll be fine. And then you were telling me I should go home. And I was like, heck no. And so I stayed in a chair overnight on a bench.
Are you going to do anything different this time? Although if they send me right home, then it's going to change everything. But
I don't know.
Did you feel, I know I wasn't prepared. Neither one of us were really prepared. So now that we went through it once, what are we going to do different this time?
We are going to make sure that we have a toilet rise,
which we already got.
So that is, I don't know much of what else we can do different. It's funny. I keep forgetting to look at the camera. I'm like looking at the wall. If anyone's watching this, probably like, what is she looking at? I think, now we're going to know, because the world is not designed for taller people. We discovered a lot of chairs. Everything is really low. So I think being that we've done it before, I feel still a little anxious about it, but I feel more prepared because we've been through it. And so I know. And looking through my photos today, being able to see how quickly
that was crazy.
were, so I hope that, again, gave you some relief.
Yeah, because in my head, like before, like getting ready for this, and COVID had happened like soon after the surgery. So everything kind of time-wise feels kind of screwed up. But Wendy was showing me videos and photos, and literally like barely a week after, I was already up and walking around. And in my head, I think I thought it was like 3 months before I could do anything, but it wasn't very long. But in the moment, it's pretty traumatic. And it just, time goes by a lot slower.
The big question on my mind is, are you going to watch all of the Star Wars series again?
Absolutely. Not only going to watch all the Star Wars, I'm going to watch Clone Wars again. I'm going to watch Ahsoka. I'm going to watch The Mandalorian. I'm going to watch maybe even Andor. 100%. 100%.
I would make sure Taras was all set, and then I would go to work, and I would be leaving at like noonish time, and then come home 10ish, and I would leave where he was watching Star Wars, and I would arrive home, and there was still Star Wars on.
Thank you, Disney Plus. We really appreciate your content. Mm-hmm. I mean, what else am I going to do?
I know. Well, there's other shows. Is there anything new that you're gonna do? Are you gonna try and bring your Xbox downstairs?
Yeah, I think I'll do that this time. I'll bring my Xbox down, and I'll become a straight up gangster on Call of Duty. No. Since Call of Duty just came out, Call of Duty 3, it's out.
Or maybe leave it upstairs and just kind of
No.
Go without like you did before.
No. No, I don't want to watch Star Wars. Well, no, I do want to watch Star Wars, but
let's once again trying to maintain eternal youth, gaming for an adult.
Yep, but like learning to dance is a great way to meet friends and meet new people and stay social. So is playing Call of Duty, because when your friends live in California, Texas, it's really hard to kind of stay connected and talk. Even though when we play games, we don't talk very often, unless we're in the lobby area, then we can start talking. But gaming is a lot different now than it was in the 80s. That's 100% factual.
Still not interested. Maybe if it was Pac-Man.
Yeah. But yeah, so today's episode, kind of just to wrap it up, is that learning to dance helps you feel young on the inside and is a great way to motivate people to stay healthy. It's great for people's mental health, physical health. So yeah, that's right.
It is. I mean, it's something, health is something I've always been passionate about. I was raised by parents that were always very health conscious. So I love the fact that I am, involved in a career that also lends itself to lead people in that direction. So there's, got to take care of yourself so you can live a happy, full life, no matter what age you are.
That's right. And in the very wise words by one of our students, Dr. Bill Marshall, even as adults, you need to set a play date, and learning to dance is one of those things. So, yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
Like, got to still be able to play. And I think people forget that, or they think that, you're not allowed or looking for permission. And I think it's so wonderful that basically no matter where you see, whether you see an Arthur Murray studio, just, showing a clip of a lesson, or events like Superama recently, all you see is people just dancing and being joyful and just having fun. And I think that's really powerful in respect to keeping that mental space of being youthful, that you don't have to be 20 years old to still feel like you are.
Totally agree. So if you are in the Virginia Beach, Hampton Roads area and you would like to learn to dance, check us out at the Arthur Murray Dance Studio of Virginia Beach, www.cutarug.net. So Wendy, in your wise words, or wise, and all of your wiseness, any parting words for this episode?
Yeah, I would say that so often I hear in our studio, and I don't think this is just limited to dancing, but if you've ever in your life, often people are like, I wish I'd have done this sooner. I wish. And I think sometimes things find you in life when you need them the most. So no matter what age you are, if you've been thinking about dancing, it is never too late to pursue a dream. Don't set limits on yourself. Don't let society set limits, because it's never too late to pursue happiness. So that's, I know that was a dramatic pause, but I think that's what dancing is all about. What do you think, Taras?
That's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
So don't forget to click like and subscribe, and we will see you in our next episode.
Bye.